What's up, everybody? How's it going tonight? It's Thursday again, and we got the music going on. Music is going on here from the Roadcaster. All right. So, what's been happening? It's Thursday, April 8th, and we're here again doing coffee and cigars live on Thursday nights. Maybe I should trim this down so it's a little bit easier to consume. But anyway, so what we're doing today is we're going to be doing our usual... Okay, 10 more seconds. Oh, yeah. All right, so we're back again. Thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate you being here, and it's time to do coffee and cigars, as always. So this week, we're going to be doing a coffee from El Salvador. It's called the Black Honey from a place called Finca Loma La Gloria, which is just outside of San Salvador. And then we're going to be smoking the Drunk Chicken Original Gordo, which is a 6x60 kind of large double Toro cigar. So how's everyone doing tonight? Where are you? Let me know where you are, what you're smoking, what you're drinking. I'd love to hear from you. Drop those in the comments. So it's good to see you guys all again. Thanks for tuning in. So we're going to get right to it because, well, why not? So I'm going to stack up our little boxes here so you can see what's happening. So today's coffee is, like I said, it's a black honey, and a black honey processed cigar. So this particular farm is run by my friend Annie Ruth Pimentel. And Annie Ruth is really this kind of new generation farmer who took over her farm from her father, who had built the farm out like in the 80s with mass production capability because there was such a boom going on. But however, by the time he finished building all of the mills and dryers and everything, there was a crash, and so they never used it. They would just grow coffee and then sell the cherry. So fast forward to about maybe, gosh, it's been maybe nearly 10 years ago, and she started to get an interest in coffee and took over the farm and started focusing on really high quality coffees to make. And she really wanted to focus on red bourbon, which is a type of varietal of coffee that's very ubiquitous, especially in El Salvador and Central America. And it's one that's a little bit harder to cultivate because it's become so susceptible to what we call the coffee berry borer, which is what they call la broca in Spanish. And it's basically this little insect that eats the cherries and damages it, and then essentially it just destroys the structure of the cherry and just renders the coffee bean not necessarily unusable, but really just not pleasant. You'll see a lot of that in commercial coffees, and it also can wipe out the harvest itself. So it's been a real big fight for probably 20 years now in Central America, maybe even longer. So she's really been working on cultivating the red bourbon against the broca, as well as trying to push the quality of the red bourbon, which is really great. So, oh, Cigar Lady Annette, hey, how's it going? Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you being here. Welcome to the show. Nice to see you. We were hanging out last week at the Tobacco Leaf. But anyway, so this red bourbon is, man, she does a really great job. And I think she's one of the best and most exciting coffee growers in Central America today. Always great stuff. And this is a black honey. And so black honey is basically a method of processing where you separate the beans from the cherry and you leave the mucilage intact. And the mucilage is a pulpy, fruity matter that covers the bean. You lay that out to dry in the sun, and you dry it completely, and then you finish milling it, which leaves a lot more of a fruitiness to the coffee. It's not quite a natural process, and it's definitely not washed. So it's this hybrid kind of processing that's become quite popular. And the black honey that this is actually from a very, very small run several years ago. This is probably the 2014 or 2015 crop. So really reserve and very rare kind of coffee. So I wanted to bring that today. And then we're going to be using this, excuse me, this thing called I should bring it higher. The Kaflano Compact. And this is a brewer made in Korea that is, it's kind of a press coffee. So I've only used it like once, I think, and that's been quite a long time. So we'll get it out of here and check it out. But Keflano is this company in South Korea that has been making some pretty interesting and innovative, excuse me, types of brewing kits. And this one's real nice because it's kind of designed for travel, so it has this little bag, right, which is pretty cool. And then you unzip it, and it comes completely folded. That's pretty much it. It's all self-contained. And let's see. So once you unscrew this, it kind of releases the vacuum that's holding the chamber closed. So as you can see here, there's a mesh strainer, and then there's an orifice. I mean, not an orifice, but an accordion type of bag that you will actually place the coffee in. Okay, so it's, oh, that's right, it goes like this. Okay, it's been a while, so we remove the mesh screen, which opens the chamber, and I believe that there's a, okay, maybe there isn't. I was trying to remember if there was a way to lock that open. Maybe that's just it. Okay, good. So we're going to take our coffee. We're going to use 24 grams of the ground coffee. This one I did a little bit relatively medium coarse. And then we're going to get our hot water. And then now we're going to add. And then we're going to start our timer. Probably time it out for 3 minutes. Oh. It's getting kind of high, So again, for those of you joining us, welcome to the show. It's Thursday night again. This is the Keflano Compact Brewer. It is a brewer made in South Korea that is kind of like a French press, a traveling French press maybe. So now we've got the coffee in here, right? And it's just kind of floating. So I'm going to put the cap on. This is the mesh filter cap. So it's a stainless steel, oh, can you see it? All right, filter mesh. I'm going to screw that on. Ah, there's Rob. Hey, Rob, what's going on, man? Welcome to the show. Thanks for tuning in. All right, so I'm a little bit nervous because now I'm always kind of concerned. Will it collapse and then coffee is flying everywhere? That would not be fun. In the meantime, we're waiting for. We're gonna wait about 3 minutes to let the coffee steep and for infusion to happen. And so, like, if this is the idea here, is that you always. What's really happening is that you have hot water just under right around 200 degrees is good, and what's really happening is that you're putting the coffee with the water, and the water is leaching out solubles, flavoring, oils out of the solid ground coffee and into the liquid. And that's really what's causing the brewing. But in order for that to happen at a rapid rate, it should be about 200 degrees. It can happen at very slow rates, which is why you have these cold brews where you sit it out overnight. But in order to get it done in a timely manner, you want to do it with hot water. All right, so Rob's saying, I'm prepped for meeting in a couple of hours. Ooh, right on, that's fine. Hey, by the way, I meant to ask you, to say to you, Rob, I was thinking about your thing in your show. Because Rob, for those of you who don't know, Rob runs a show every Sunday night at 10:30, going over movies. And, so here's my idea, Rob. Here's my idea, because you were asking me about that. What about doing an over-analysis of maybe like an older movie, like Enemy of the State, or a movie called Vulgar? And the reason I'm asking these particular ones, because these are particular movies that I actually worked on. So I don't know if that's of interest to have maybe backstories about what happened in production and all that, but something to think about. I'm very open to whatever you want, whatever you're thinking. All right, so we're just about there. 8 seconds or so. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. So we're going to take this, we're going to put that in our beaker. Okay, this is probably the way to do it. Oh, so you can just kind of turn it over without worrying about it. Okay, so it doesn't, like if you did this with the AeroPress would start the flow, because it's a little, I guess the AeroPress filter, the paper filter, compared to the Caflano's metal filter is more porous. All right, so now we're just going to press down. And it doesn't require much pressure at all to push down, so we're just pushing it down gently and steadily. Why? Because it seems like a civilized way to do it. All right, that sounds great. That sounds great. All right, my friend, have a great one. Thanks for tuning in. All right, so we're going to push down a little bit more. Okay, good. Good. All right, so what I did is I used the ratio of 24 grams of coffee to make this liquid. However, we only were able to put, oh, I don't know, maybe 5, 6, 7 ounces of water into that. But the ratio of the coffee is for a 12-ounce cup. So we're going to add hot water to the remaining volume. Which is about 350 milliliters. There we are. And so that's pretty much our brew. We've got our brew here. And let's have a look at it with the X-ray vision. So pretty clear, pretty clean. Maybe slightly cloudy. Maybe there's a little bit of sediment coming through. That's all right. We're going to give that a taste now. Put this to the side and then get our mug. All right, let's taste. There's a good amount of body, and nice. There's a nice light tardiness that's kind of on the finish, with some nice fruity notes before that. So kind of a, maybe like a Concord grape kind of note that before it becomes a little bit bright. Oh, there's Rusty. What's going on, Rusty? He's bouncing back and forth between our show and Top Chef. Right on. Isn't that Ramsey's show still? I get it. Ramsey's much more entertaining. I don't yell at people calling them donkeys too often. At least I tried to leave that behind. All right, so that's really nice. Now it's time to move on to our cigar of the day, of the evening. And as always, the cigar comes from Tobacco Leaf and Jessup from Rahul. So, which reminds me, so we've been talking for the last month or so about the Aganorsa Rare Leaf Reserva cigar tasting that we're going to have with the 2 extra Vitolas. And we've set the date up. I finally got with Mike King. So that's definitely going to be now April 29th. So 3 weeks from now. So you've got some time to get it. I spoke to Mike. He's going to send up all the cigars to Rahul. So hopefully he should get that maybe by now, because it's been a week since I talked to them about it. And that's going to be available $15 for the pack, or $23 shipped anywhere in the country. So give Rahul a call at, what is it, 799, oh, no, yeah, 799-2094, 410. And, yeah, give it a go ahead and order. We'd love to have you. I think it'd be really kind of exciting in a really great way. Mike's going to join us on the show to talk about the cigars and give us a lot of insight onto it. So it should be kind of fun. Should be kind of fun. Oh, Brava and Padma. Oh, Padma and Tom Colicchio. Oh, Tom Colicchio's nice. I like Tom. All right, so this is the Drunk Chicken. Now, you know, this is a cigar brand that I'm not familiar with at all. And turns out the owner, the founder, is actually from the Washington, D.C., Maryland area. And it's kind of a nice looking band. Let's see if we can get that into focus. As you can see, it's kind of got gold, not really gold leaf, but like golden stamping with this chicken in an egg. That's pretty interesting. So we've got nice tobacco, earthiness, barnyard, maybe slight black pepper, but there is a little bit of sweetness on the wrapper. It's kind of interesting. And that's asking, did you purchase that Drunk Chicken at Tobacco Leaf? I did get this. So what this particular cigar is, I got this as part of a set that I think Cirilo had been working on with Rahul to put together a grouping of, was it five? It's 5 cigars, right? Here it is. So it's a 5 cigar pack for Amplify Black Voices, and it's basically, what I've been told is that this is a pack of cigars that are $60, and it includes 5 different cigars that are black-owned brands: Drunk Chicken, Tres Lindas Cubanas, Black Line, Carolina Blue, and Emperor's Cut. And the idea, I think, at least at the store level, at least at a Rahul store, is that he's put them all out there. He was selling these packs. This is a few weeks ago now, and everyone's supposed to buy them, smoke them, and then give feedback on which ones they like the best. And I guess the most popular of them is going to actually become part of the humidor offerings at Tobacco Leaf. So I thought it was really interesting, and one of the things about this is that it's this particular one, and well, this one and the rest of the lineup are cigar brands that I've never heard of, and I think I smoke fairly regularly and, tend to be kind of out there. I mean, I go to the trade show on a regular basis to see what's going on, and there's really not too much information. So when I got this cigar and I decided this is the lineup that we're going to use for the next few weeks, I was looking online to see, what kind of information is on this cigar, and there's really not too much. Yeah, so that's why we want to do it a little bit more and give it a little exposure at least and see what it's like. So let's get to it. The wrapper is in... The wrapper feels nice, slightly oily, not too bad, not too veiny, right? And this is a San Andres, Mexico wrapper with Ecuadorian binder and Nicaraguan fillers. It's that's pretty much all that's been disclosed about it. It's a little bit, like we always talk about on the show, it's like, I would like to have more information about the cigar. I think having more information about the types of leaves and what you're doing, it just gives greater insight and greater appreciation for those people who really enjoy cigars to enjoy it even at a deeper level. And I wish more cigar manufacturers would really commit to that kind of thing, because as we've talked about, even with Mike Rosales on the show from the Roma Craft, it's like, even if you told people that I'm buying, this is the tobacco we're using, it's very difficult for anyone to copy that, because they would have to get the same tobacco, they would have to process it in the same way, do all the pre-industry, yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so let's cut the cigar. So when I cut, we're using the Zycar MTX cutter. Oh yeah. So there's the cut. Oh gosh. That was terrible. I'm talking about, I've been to the PCA show, but I can't seem to cut a cigar correctly. I will do a couple more cuts to make it a nice... That should be better. There we go. That's better. That's better, right? That's better. That's not so embarrassing. All right, so cold draw. The roll is tight, a little bit tight. The draw's a little bit tight. And that's saying Neptune breaks it down. Oh, we'll have to go look at that. We'll go check that out. We'll go check out what Neptune has to say. I can't find it. Where are you, baby? Oh, I see. Yes, yes. Well, I was hoping that they would have a little bit more in-depth on reviews. I mean, well, anyway, but let's continue on. So, for the cold draw, there's not too much happening. Maybe some hay, light tones. All right, good. Let's light it up now. We're going to use our matches. Can you guys hear all this detail that I'm hearing? In my headphones, I get a lot of the detail of the little noises, but I'm not sure if you guys hear that. Like in my headphones, I can hear it, and it sounds very ASMR to me. Now, I'm having a little bit hard time to light it. Like, after that, it's really just there. So I'm gonna go to a little bit heavier force with this lighter. Yeah, that's better. All right, so that's good. Starting off well. There's a nice amount of smoke, I think. I feel like I have to catch up to it. I mean, like initially it feels like it's a little bit hard to keep lit, but it looks lit pretty well. There's a bit of strength on the tongue that's kind of heavy. Some kind of spice, but not a real distinct spice. So, feeling it, there's a little bit of softness right here, but it's tighter here. It's pretty tight at by the cap. You know how you're smoking a cigar and you kind of feel like it's going to go out? That's kind of the feel on the drawer at the moment. It feels like it could go out. But it's a heavier cigar. There's a little bit more weightiness to it. Tobacco with some kind of indescript spice. Maybe a pepper. So when that says that the Lancero in the cigar is way better, we'll have to tell Rahul about that. But it said that, from what I was reading, it did say that this cigar is made in the United States. So I'm guessing maybe down in Miami or maybe somewhere up here. Do you happen to know, Annette, where it's from? So the owner, I guess they call her Des. In one podcast that I saw, that they called her Des. Desiree Sylver is her name, and she was actually from the Maryland area, is a veteran, and decided to start her own cigar line, which is, a great thing. It's a really, especially in today's market where there's so much question about the FDA and all of that, like what's gonna happen? So is it seems like a risky proposition to start a cigar brand for over the last 5 years. So it's nice to see that people are trying. And then that's saying, her favorite is the Living the Dream. And the Living the Dream is another line of their cigars that is, let's pull up let's actually pull up their website. Everything's all kind of in the way at the moment. Sorry, I'm like looking like I'm crazy. All right, we're going to go and show you this. All right, there we are. This is their website. So they have got the Living the Dream, which is medium bud Habano fillers from Dominican, Nicaragua. There is the Fat Hand series, which is kind of like I guess they're kind of like Figurado kind of tipped, Bellicoso kind of tipped short cigars, kind of like a nub kind of thing. Mother Cluckers, a little bit more bold and rich. And then this is from the Maduro line, which is the original, which is what we're smoking today. And then a Sweet Dream, which is a slightly sweet tip cigar. Can't speak today. So they've got some interesting stuff that I haven't seen. And the interesting thing is that it was interesting to find that they are from she's from Maryland, so, and DC. So there's actually, when we look at the locations on their website, there's actually a lot of representation. Like DC, they have two shops. That doesn't seem like a lot. However, Maryland, look at this. Maryland, Smoking Room 301, Aphelion, Burn One Cigar, Fire and Smoke, Spartan, Mojos, Invictus, Brass Tap, Cigar 210, Tobacco Leaf, Dan's. So they've got quite a bit in Maryland, and then even in Virginia, there's quite a bit. They also have a big presence in Texas. Yeah, Virginia Cigar Palace, Enzo, Cigar Limited, Tobaccology. Oh, Tobaccology, that's a good place to go. All right, let's get back to the nice. I find it to be interesting. However, it's not showing a lot of complexity and there's not a lot of flavors happening. It's a little bit monotoned. A little bit of sweetness. There's really that kind of like stronger sense of tobacco, some kind of spice. That's kind of right now, that's the experience here in the first third. And so, and that's saying that, it's made in Miami. Okay. Do you happen to know which factory that's made at? Then if you happen to go to her page, the story of Desiree Sylver is on her page. And she likes the Fat Hen, which is sounding pretty good. So let's see a little bit what we got here. So in this line, this particular, the original release, Maduro, there's the 6x60. Although this doesn't seem like a 6x60. This is probably more the Robusto. But it's not. Wait a minute. Let's see. I was just thinking it can't be 60-60. It doesn't feel like a 60. Oh, it's not. It's just a oh, this is the Robusto. I don't know. Sorry, I got that labeling wrong. That's what I thought we were supposed to be having in the pack, but. It's pleasant. It's a pleasant, enjoyable cigar at the moment. Oh, King 1, Kong 2 is out there from the United Kingdom. Welcome. How's it going, man? Managed to catch a live. Finally got online. Thank you for coming out. Doing well, thanks. 1:28 in the morning. Oh, man, it is early. It is early out there. Halfway through Easter school holiday and just giving myself a few days off. Excellent. Well, enjoy that time, and thank you for tuning in. And if you need to take off, I understand, because it's getting kind of early out there. So, by the way, what are you having out there today? What are you guys smoking? I'd like to know what you guys are smoking, what you're drinking. Just drop those in the comments. So, like I said, if you're just joining us, this is the Drunk Chicken Original Maduro in the Robusto size, 5.5 by 50. There's also a Lancero at 7.5 by 38, which Annette says is the best one in their line. So according to the website, it says that their signature hand-rolled Powerhouse Maduro is a cigar that launched the company, and it's a combination that was inspired by Dirty Rico's flavor profile. I'm not sure who Dirty Rico is. They didn't really say on their website who that is. And it's like we said before, it's a Mexican San Andres wrapper with Nicaraguan filler and Ecuadorian binder. So it's designed to be a robust, full-bodied smoke, and I think it's definitely a stronger, robust kind of cigar. But I'm not getting a lot of complexity and flavor. Like there's not a lot of. It's kind of like it's strong. Not strong. It's got strength. It's got flavor, more tobacco-y flavor, and yeah, that's pretty much where we are with that. Oh, her partner's real. Oh, that makes sense then. So the company was started in October 2019, and Desiree was born and raised in Maryland, but has traveled quite a bit, and she has a PhD in organizational leadership, and has been smoking cigars for over 20 years. So it's nice to see new people entering the business. But like I said, it's interesting because these kind of cigars, it was something that Cirilo and Rahul put together as part of Amplify Black Voices, and I think that's an important issue to look at. Is and I've talked to some of the manufacturers about this, and I haven't been able to travel as much across the United States, so I don't really see a lot of lounges in the U.S. I do a lot more international travel in the last several years. But definitely, if Maryland is a reflection, there's a really strong growth of cigar smokers in the African American communities. And so we see that at Tobacco Leaf, it's very, robust, and everyone's really enjoying the cigars and really getting into it. And that's great to see but I'm also interested to know, and I've actually seen some of that in Atlanta when I was down there a couple years back. But the troubling thing, I think, is that as I was looking for information about this cigar was really the lack of information and the lack of attention, just the general dearth of awareness and coverage of a cigar like this. Now, I don't know if the rest of the cigars in the 5-pack are like this, but at least for this one, there is not too, like if you were to look at the other mainstream cigar websites, so I guess Cigar Aficionado, Half Wheel, Cigar Coop, Leaf Enthusiast, Stogie Press, Developing Palates, a lot of these ones that we turn to week after week on the show to see what other people think, other reviewers think about the cigars. There's really nothing covering it, especially for a cigar that's come out, a line that came out in 2019, that's been out for about a year and 4 months. I would have thought there would be, this seems to me that, especially the guys at Half Wheel that are very much coffee geeky people about cigar geeky people about cigars, that, I would think that they would want to be all over that, these new releases. But, everyone kind of follows along the mainstream bigger releases from like the bigger boutiques. So it kind of makes me wonder, like, all these other websites, and not necessarily to be a heavy criticism, but is it just a matter of being fanboys? Now, the other side of it is that, like, if they're like me, as an individual cigar smoker, who's not really, we're not cigar media. We're just a bunch of people smoking cigars on Thursday nights. Before I continue, there's a nice burn going on The color is really nice and white. The ash is looking pretty solid. The draw is still steady. The amount of smoke is still a solid, copious amount. Okay, back to what I'm saying. So, someone like me, it's like I never heard about these people, this cigar line, or even any of maybe I heard of one of the cigar companies that's listed in the bag, but I haven't really heard about it. And we need to have things like Cirilo and Rahul pushing these Amplify Black Voices to introduce us to new flavors or new cigar experiences from not really well-known manufacturers. I think that's important. But for me, as a regular cigar smoker, I'm not really exposed to that. So I would turn to places like Half Wheel, Cigar Coop, Stogie Press to find out about these things. And these are I'm kind of disappointed that they haven't been all over this, because these newer cigar companies are kind of like the ones to latch onto to give excitement to what they're doing, and also kind of be leaders in the industry where they're like, oh, hey, we found this new cigar and we like it, or this is what this new cigar is all about, which really gives, I think, instead of spending too much time with these are cigars from General, Altadas, great cigars, but show us something new. And then I also found, if you're interested in learning more about this cigar, there's a podcast called Cigars, Liquors, and More. And on their February 8th episode from this year, they actually had Desiree Sylver from Drunk Chicken on their show talking about the cigars and her experiences. So that, if you're interested, that's a good one to look up. It's called Cigars, Liquor, and More podcast from February 8th. All right, so still smoking away. We're pushing towards the end of the first third. Holding up well. So I did, so not to say that there is no reviews out there. I did find a couple. There's a YouTube channel called 60 Second Cigar Review. There's this guy who's doing 60-second reviews of cigars, and he did this one, the Drunk Chicken Original, and he was talking about the aroma. He had cookies on the foot, mixed spice and peppermint from the wrapper. The pre-light draw was pretty tight, and there wasn't really anything from the pre-light flavor. And that's kind of what I got to, the little bit slightly tight on the pre-light draw, as well as no real heavy discernible flavors on the flavor-wise on the draw, the cold draw. Now, he got like a mixed spice and peppermint. I had no peppermint. And then also a website called Final Third Cigar, which is one that I just found because I guess they're the only ones that have a printed review, which is their reviews aren't as detailed. Like Half Wheel gets really detailed in their reviews. FinalThirdCigar.com is a little bit lighter on their reviews. So their initial notes were, the pack seemed tight, draw is just right. The first third gave notes of deep leather and earth notes with a lingering spiciness. So maybe my experience is similar to theirs. But instead of deep leather, it translates to me as more just kind of general tobacco scents. Maybe there's some, or maybe I'm getting some others, but I definitely noted that spice, but non-discernible spice. And then on the final third, their experience for the second third was that the flavors were melding well, and the spice lingered, but but didn't really get more into than that into it. And then it said that they have a full strength with deep dark flavor notes with nice transitions and a solid burn. And the burn has been nice. And then Final Third gave it an 87 rating, which I still think is, for me to compare and think about a score, it's still too early. We're still in the first third, so. And that says she got no peppermint either. Hey, I'm with you. I think that was an interesting. interpretation on their part. All right, so what's happening in the world today? So, Orioles had their first home game at 3 p.m. I only know that because some of my customers came in today and they were telling me they were on their way to the game. I don't know how we did. I wonder if we won. Anyone know if we won? Some of us do. Some of us. I always enjoy the first game of the year because people are always like, the Orioles win the first game, and so they get a 1.0 in the stats. So it's like, oh, everyone's very excited. Weather's really nice out here in Baltimore. It's been pretty warm the last couple of days. I've been in the 70s. I think it was like 75 today. Yesterday definitely was warmer. And today's been pretty warm. It's pretty nice outside. Right, Danette, have a good one. Thanks for tuning in. All right. Yeah, it's still, I would like to see a lot more depth and complexity in the cigar. It's relatively static and not terribly exciting. So also my friend Chad Goss, who's the owner of the food market in Hamden, is opening another outlet of his food market. So he's got the food market, La Food Marqueta, over in Pikesville. And then in Columbia, he's opening another food market starting tomorrow. So if you have the chance, go check it out. I was just there this week looking at checking out the facility, really beautiful restaurant. And I'll be doing their coffee. So, the coffee's going to be good. So the food and the coffee's going to be great. So make sure you go check it out if you have the time this week. It's right across, it's basically on Little Patuxent Parkway. I think it's 10480 Little Patuxent Parkway. It's across the parking lot from where they're putting the new Lidl grocery store in Columbia Mall. All right, KJ, thanks for coming in. Appreciate you checking us out and staying with us for a while. Have a great evening. Desiree, hello. Nice to see you. Welcome. We're enjoying your cigar here. So what else is happening in the world? We are looking at, there was another shooting today in Bryan, Texas, which kind of makes me wonder, suddenly we're having a lot of shootouts, right? Is it because Trump is no longer in office, and so they're so mad that they got to go out and shoot everybody? Is that what's happening here? This is what it makes me wonder today. Yes, we are smoking the Robusto from your original Maduro. This is the one from Tobacco Leaf Rolls, putting together the Amplify Black Voices 5-pack. So that we're doing the first one. This is the first one from that. So evidently, because of all these shootouts now, Biden's on the pressure's on for Biden to do all of the gun restrictions. So he's looking at ghost guns, and ghost guns are the ones where you buy the part that's not fully finished, and you have to finish it. So you break out your power drill and drill, and then you can eventually put together a gun. And they say that the ghost gun usage is rising here in Baltimore and Philly. But the strange thing is that They say gross gun usage is rising in Baltimore. I don't know about Philly, but let's say Baltimore, right? And Baltimore's violence, what makes me wonder, like, are people really using these? Because it seems like a lot of work to use them. Yes, we'd love to have more information. Love to have more information. Do you happen to be? Do you happen to? Actually, if you have access to I don't know, webcam, I can drop you on. That way it'll be a little bit easier to. Love to hear about the story that you're doing with the cigar and how you started and all that. And then evidently there's that guy Matt Getz, that representative from, I was just reading about him today. The guy that's been climbing up, he's representative on Congress and he's rising up in the ranks of Washington, and he's gotten into some kind of sex trafficking. Why these guys are always involved with sex trafficking is still, I'm still not understanding. But evidently Trump came out today and said that this guy, Getz, asked him before he left office to give him a blanket pardon. A blank, like, hey, Mr. President, I just don't, I need a pardon, not necessarily for a specific thing, but just for whatever happens, whatever comes out, I just need one. God, you know the guy's guilty. All right, so let's see. Desiree's asking how to do. So Desiree, are you happen to be on Facebook? If so, I will look you up and pull up, and then I'll send you a message that has the link so that we can connect. Actually, I'll see if you're on here. Oh, there you are. I see. Okay, great. And we're just doing a little back end here. All right, so Desiree, I've sent you the link on your Facebook account. Oh, I don't know if I can message you on YouTube. Can we message people on YouTube? Let's see. Oh, okay, good. You got it. Great. All right, so basically, Desiree, just click on that link and it'll kind of do its thing and bring you to, I don't know all the exact terminology of how all the back end really works. So it's a link from StreamYard, and StreamYard will bring you in once you click on that link and open your browser, and then we'll be able to connect that way. All right. There it is. So it's still going on, and we're into the second third here. So we're still getting that general sense of tobacco, that kind of light spiciness. It's relatively a stable, steady, static kind of experience. Ah, there we are. Excellent. Let me add you on. Hey, Desiree, welcome to the show.
Hey.
How's it going? I guess you're at home, huh?
I'm at home. Actually lighting a cigar right now.
Oh, excellent. Which one are you going to have?
Something new. I went down to Florida and met with my rollers, and we came up with a couple new blends. And I went to Ybor, and I went buck wild meeting with all the hand rollers and bought a whole bunch of cigars. So I am today enjoying one of the new ones that we rolled, and we're thinking about adding to the line.
Oh, excellent. So when you're going out and blending, like for example, this cigar that you're testing out now, what's your process in that?
Wow. It varies depending on w- what I'm doing or how I'm starting from scratch. But a lot of times I will start with the wrapper binder filler and think about what I enjoy about each one and see how they can come together. Doesn't always work out though. Sometimes it's like, oh gosh, this is an awful cigar.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. But this one that you're about to light up, is it? Did you? Was it just a matter of you, or is this the point where you're just trying to see how it's turning out?
Oh, I love, love, love this cigar. I've
Mm,
smoked one of these cigars since we brought it together. It is a broadleaf uh, with Ecuadorian binder and Dominican filler. So it's smooth. Oh, and it has a sweet tip.
mm.
So, yeah, it is amazing. The sweet tip that we have right now has notes of cocoa and the vanilla is strong, maple syrup. This is a the I didn't know how the broadleaf would take the sweet tip, but it's
Okay.
just like it's a smooth, just light flavor, and it oh man, it's an amazing cigar.
Oh, sounds great. So with the sweet tip, I think what I'm kind of curious to know is when you're talking about notes of maple and things like that and vanilla, are those elements that you're adding to the componentry of the sweetness, or is that the way that it's interacting with the tobacco?
That's the way it is interacting with the tobacco because it is really just sugar water.
Okay, okay. Now, is
Yeah.
that something that they're? I'm just curious. Do they spray it on after they roll, or brush it on, or how does that work for them?
Uh, dip it in, and
Oh,
then
kind of like how you do like with alcohol. Okay.
dip the tip in, and then it sits there and dries with the sugar water in the room with it too. So
Oh, very nice, very nice. So you said that you're down in. So is that to say that the cigars are made in Ybor City?
no, they're not made anymore. I stopped there. I wanted to make stops. While I was there, I wanted to meet with some of the lounges that already have my cigars. I wanted to meet some new lounges in Florida. And since I was going to be there and I love to drive, I just drove. I was everywhere from West Palm Beach to Naples to Tampa in the middle.
Oh wow, fantastic, fantastic. Now Annette says that I don't know if you know. Annette was saying that the cigars are made in Miami. Is that correct?
No, they're made in
Oh no.
Florida. I never tell anybody where in Florida.
Okay.
But they are hand rolled in Florida. And Miami is not it. Everyone loves to guess, but Miami is not it.
Right on, right on. So from what I was reading online, that you're actually a veteran as well.
I, I am not a veteran.
Okay.
Are a veteran-owned company. I have a partner. My fiance and I started this company together. While you
Mm.
only see my lovely face everywhere, he's a partner in the company. He does not like to be on camera or like to speak. But when we're doing blends, he is definitely part of the blending process. He's definitely part of the branding process. He's and when we do events, he's right there, making sure that everything goes smooth.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. So tell me, I mean, I'm curious to know, like, how did you get started? Why did you get started? What really drove after it said on your website you've been smoking for 10 years, and what made you decide to really go out and do your own brand?
It was an accident. Never meant to do. That was not the intent. The intent, the group of guys that roll for me right now, met them while I was traveling, and my fiance and I smoke cigars on a regular basis. He smokes, I smoke, and when you're buying cigars at $10, $15 a pop, it becomes a very expensive habit.
Oh yes.
So when we met them, they were fabulous and still are. And it's like, hey, let me show you our leads. Showed us how they stored everything. Showed us all the leads they had, the wrappers, the binders, the fillers. They showed me the difference in the wrapper leaf and the binder leaf and all. And I was just like in awe. I'm like, oh, this is so cool. And he's like, I can roll any combination you want. And I was still am a little bit of a nerd when it comes to cigars. When I smoke cigars, I go and research what's the wrapper, binder, filler. So I have this Excel spreadsheet right now. I think there's close to 200 cigars on there, and I look
Mm.
at the wrapper, binder, filler. And so I wanted to, when I was trying to figure out what cigars I like, why I like them, I looked at the common denominators with them. These are the wrappers, these are the binders, these are the fillers. So I said, hey, give me, this blend, and they blended it for me. And we went back to the well, for both of us, we went back to the hotel. We smoked the cigars. We went back the next day. Go, I love these cigars.
Oh, nice, nice.
And he said, well, I could make more for you. And I said, well, I mean, you have so many different blends. There's so many ways that we can do this. When I get home, can I call you up and give you, some other blends that I'd like to try? He said, absolutely. So I got home and I called him up, and we worked together, and he gave me like 50 cigars for free, just shipped them to me based on my blends that I wanted. And we smoked those, fell in love with a couple of the blends. And then we went back to him and said, well, these not so great. These are okay. And here's how we want to tweak it. Well, about 6 or 7 tries of that, we came up with this 5 blends we have right now.
Oh, fantastic. So when you're as a cigar smoker yourself, so I imagine that you would have particular cigars that you favored for your own personal enjoyment. Do any of those stand out to you, and how did those cigars impact the way that you went about selecting your cigars?
Um, I can't say that the ones that I love and still love to this day, um, impacted, except for the fact that I know more what I loved because of smoking those cigars. What I liked about those cigars, I liked the smoothness of the cigar. So that was one of the things that I was absolutely looking for in any cigar that I did or wanted. And so the 5 blends were made for us. The bold, the full body, the one you're smoking, it
Hmm.
was made for him. That's the one he loves. I'm a more of a medium to mild kind of person.
Okay.
The Mother Clucker, the Fat Hen, and the Living a Dream we both love. And then the Sweet Tip was basically mine. And we had promised the guy that we were going to buy 500 cigars, and so he gave us a great deal, and we bought 100 of each, and we just started to. Um, sorry, my dog is acting
Uh-oh.
crazy right now.
Do you need to go grab him, or?
No, no, one of the chickens were killed today, and all the
Oh,
feathers are there, and he's over there messing with the feathers.
oh. So you have chickens at your house?
Yeah, we have 23 chickens and one rooster now. We used to say 2 roosters now.
Oh, no.
One, yeah.
Now is that part of the story of how Drunk Chicken came to be named?
Yeah, we the name of the chicken farm is the Drunk Chicken, and
Oh, okay.
so it's just the Drunk Chicken Cigar is just an extension of the chicken farm.
Oh, okay. So is that your other line of business, is doing chickens, or?
No,
Oh, okay. That's just more for your fun.
they're pets.
Oh, gotcha,
The
gotcha.
chickens are pets. So yeah, the rooster just got into a small little accident today, and yeah,
Oh,
yeah, unfortunate.
with a fox?
Uh, he got too bold out of his britches and started attacking. And yikes!
Yeah, sometimes that happens. Sometimes we all go through that point.
Yeah, so he tried to bite, so he got bit back.
Oh, oh, that's funny. That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So you made the commitment to the cigars. Have you already gone through that original order and gone to more, or still working through that order?
The 500,
Mm-hmm.
we sold 30,000 cigars last year.
Wow, awesome, awesome.
Yeah. So we're in 71 lounges as of today.
Mm-hmm.
Lounges, shops, and one casino, a couple restaurants.
Wow, fantastic. But I noticed on your website that I'm not that a lot of the majority of your your focus has been on Maryland, Virginia, and looks like Texas. Is that correct?
I don't know how Texas just kind of, and it just has not been my focus. It's just how it happened. I really kind of, I have a list, and every day I just, you know, pick up the phone and call. It doesn't, it's not, it's just how it worked out. Not necessarily, I focus on that area.
Okay,
But,
okay.
yeah, but I do live in Maryland, so I understand the Maryland. I'm not sure I understand the Texas, but I love them for loving my cigars.
Right on, right on. Now, since you're in Maryland, and I'm in Maryland as well, and there's been I've noticed, especially like at Tobacco Leaf down over in Jessup, and as well as with Aphelion and a number of the other lounges in the area, there's been a large resurgence of African American cigar smokers happening. Do you find do you find your cigars being smoked more by the African American community or more by other, like I guess the white community? Does that, do you have a breakdown on that kind of thing, or?
I really don't have a breakdown of that. Uh, I see cigar smokers as a cigar smoker, and it, there has been a movement with African American cigar smokers, and I appreciate the love and support that they are given. But it's not just the cigars are, across the board cigar smokers. So,
Oh, great, great. But is there, what I've been wondering, and this is something I asked with Cirilo McLane when he was on the show a couple months ago. Do you, what's the question? Do you feel that with a large amount of African American cigar smokers today, is there a different approach to that market, or yeah, is there a different approach that you would take to reach those cigar smokers that would be different in any way, or and also I guess maybe the extension of that is, do larger cigar companies pay attention to that, to the community?
I don't know what the larger companies are able to do, to be honest with you. I don't know if they focus on it. I, I think that for me, I focus on my brand, focus on quality cigars. I focus on reaching the mass. Uh, you was and when you go visit the Instagram page, I think that's one of the things that you should see when you go there is a eclectic group of people, races, and female, males. And we want to make sure that everyone knows that it's about the cigar, it's about the community, it's about the relaxation, it's about the gathering. And one of the great things about the cigar community, you can sit across from black or white or male or female and have a cigar and connect with that person where you may not have been able to connect in any other setting.
Yes, I agree with that. I agree with that very much. Very
Yeah.
much. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I don't know if
there
you can
you
see.
go.
I pulled up the your Instagram page here so we can have a look and share with everyone. But yeah, I definitely noticed that earlier when I was looking at it. There, there is a wide, nice wide diversity that's showing with your audience, which is great.
Yeah, I try to make sure that it is that way because cigar smoking is about, to me, diversity. It's about embracing everybody, the differences, and being able to just have those conversations and be okay with the person you sit next to, no matter, just because they're brothers and sisters of the leaf.
Yes, absolutely. Now, as a cigar company that's starting out, do you find it? I mentioned I was talking about this earlier in the live stream where as I was trying to do some research into the cigar online. There's really like a lot of the mainstream cigar media, like Cigar Coop, Half Wheel, and the like, really don't have anything on your particular company. Is that has been difficult to get attention from those kind of cigar media groups?
Absolutely. They don't know they don't know that I exist, as far as I know. Um,
Okay.
yeah, so there's been no outreach. But that's okay. I am a newer brand, and and we'll get there.
Okay. Cool. Cool. Cool.
We will get there.
Right on. Right on. Yeah, I'm finding it to be quite nice. It's like I've said in the show. It's been relatively static. So a lot of just for me personally, it's been more of a nice, robust general tobacco sense with maybe a light spiciness to it. So it's been enjoyable so far.
When I do the Robusto, Lancero is my favorite because when you do the Gordo, it is more of a full body. For
Hmm.
me, I'm a more of a medium. The Robusto and the Lanceros are more my speed. That gets down a little bit more into medium range. But I do have notes of dark chocolate when I smoke it.
Okay.
That earthiness, the tiny, tiny, tiny hint of spice. And I'm trying to think back to my last Lancero, DCO. Tiny hint of spice. Oh, and then there's some nuttiness in retro hell.
Okay. Yes. Yes. I don't. I'm not very good at the retrohaling thing. So, like Annette was saying that the fat hen she really likes, and what else did she say? She's the drunk chicken is her favorite. How does the drunk chicken compare to this one?
Well, she was talking about the DCO original. And
Oh, is
that,
that the okay?
yeah, same one that you're smoking, but she likes the Lancero version. Yeah.
True. Okay, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right, you're right on that note. Oh, she said also the living the dream. What's the living the dream?
Living the Dream is all Dominican. It is the smoothest cigar that we have in our line. It is for me. It is a great when I'm doing events and I'm going to smoke several cigars, and that's my go-to. That and the Sweet Dreams because I can smoke quite a few of them and they don't get to my head when I'm smoking them. It's just so smooth, so relaxing. It's just a great mellow cigar. I always tell people if you just want a smooth cigar, that's your cigar. People that tell me I only smoke Cubans, that's your cigar. Beginner smokers, that's your cigar. Um, so light smokers, that's your cigar.
Okay, great, great. And then how does was it the fat hen? Is that right? Is that
Yeah,
the short ones?
the shorty torpedoes, but it also comes in a 6x6 Gordo, but that solid medium. It is a mixture of Dominican and Ecuadorian filler, so it has a little bit of spice, a little bit of creamy smoothness, but it's a solid medium cigar.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. Now, with your cigar lines, do you find that one of them, or is there a particular size that more of your audience gravitates towards?
Um, that's funny you ask because somebody, a new client, lounge purchased today, and they were asking the same thing. What's the most popular? Because that's the one I wanted to buy. And well, it depends. And it depends on this. It depends on your lounge. In Texas, those Lanceros go well. They go fast. In DC, Maryland area, those 6x60 Gordos sell better. So the size, and then do you have heavy smokers at your lounge, or do you have lighter smokers at your lounge? Know your customers. That's very important. And once you know your customers and what they like to smoke, then it's easy to see, what will work in your lounge. But the one great thing about what we have going on is that there's five of them. There's a full body. We have three mediums, and they're very different. The mediums, and then there's a mild. So I think we hit something for almost everybody.
Oh, fantastic. Now, and one thing, the interesting thing I thought was like, the Robusto and the Gordo are always big favorites in the modern day cigar smokers, but the Lancero seems, especially like, and I think what your comments said about, Texas and Maryland, the difference is definitely something that I've noticed, but it seems that when speaking to people around the country that the Lancero is the harder sell. I mean, do you find that to be true as well, or
Absolutely.
why did you decide to go with the Lancero when it is the harder one to sell?
I like smoking.
Oh, Excellent, excellent. Do you like it? So let's go for it. Excellent.
Um, I see a movement. For me, I see a movement towards Lancero. Um, and the Lancero sales have been picking up, um, almost doubling in sales, and so the Lancero, there's a movement towards Lanceros right now. So
Mm.
that's what I see. Besides myself liking it, females like to it's easier in their hands. Guys are liking it. I don't know Michael Jordan and his long skinny cigar, what he did to the industry, but that seems that the Churchills and those Splendor cigars are continue to have a comeback.
Okay, great, great. Yeah, I think what I've noticed is that with the Lancero is definitely something that I guess the more sophisticated cigar smoker has been exploring heavier over the last few years.
Well, they say Lancero, which I find to be true, is the true blend of a cigar. When you really want to know how that cigar truly tastes, because when you're talking about, for example, the what you're smoking right now, the DCO is that's it, the Lajero fillers in it, and you have a lot more of that Lajero. You're smoking a lot more filler when you are smoking it with a 6x60 versus a Lancero. You have more of an even ratio with wrapper binder filler.
Gotcha, gotcha. We got a question here from one of the audience members. Saint the Great is asking, "Hey, question: Why is Newport? Oh, I don't know if this is for you or for me, but why is Newport owned by an incorporation and Cheyenne Cigars are owned by LLC? They both. Do you know anything about those?
I
Oh, okay.
don't at all.
All right. Saint, sorry, Saint. I don't really know. We don't really know anything about those two cigars. I'm not even familiar with the brands. Maybe are they newer brands or
Newport, I think, is a cigarette.
that's what I was wondering. And then Annette's saying the Lancero is the true original true cigar and making a comeback. Absolutely.
Ah, that's my girl.
So what's coming up in the future for Drunk Chicken?
Oh, lots of great things. Lots of great things. I went down to Ybor and lost my mind. Went to all of the different hand rollers and bought all their cigars and sat there and smoked them and fell in love with all the rollers in Ybor. And so working with a few of them to see if we can do small batch
Oh,
um,
fantastic.
cigars.
Fantastic. One of my good friends is really a big fan of Nika Habana down there on in Ybor. I actually got to go there 2 years ago to check it out. It's pretty fun scene down there.
That was my first time. So I really
Did you stay down on what street is that called? I don't know, but right there in the middle of it all, or did you stay more in Tampa?
No, I like I said, I went from West Palm Beach to Tampa to Naples, back again. Missed my flight on purpose, stayed a couple days. Yeah, so I and then went back to Ybor because I enjoyed myself so much there. So I stayed everywhere.
Oh, fantastic. Is it so? How is the scene down there right now with the pandemic? Are there a lot of people still out on the streets in Ybor City?
It was pretty dead.
Okay.
Down there, which I loved. But I also went during the day. I heard it was people picked up during the evening and night, but I went during the day. It was easy. It's easier to talk to shop owners and rollers and stuff like that when there's nobody there.
I guess, much for sure. Like
Yes.
when I was there a couple years ago, I went. That was my first time too, and I kind of hung out down there, smoked at Nicabana, had some at Faraona, and then I was there later. I was in kind of mid afternoon into the evening, and right about 9 o'clock is I think that's when they start to change. Like it becomes more the night scene, and I was like, okay, it's time to leave.
Oh, I was out
It's
of there.
getting crazy in there.
I was out of there way before that.
So tell me about yourself. Like you've been a cigar smoker for a long time. How did you get into cigars?
Smoking with friends and the ex. Just I didn't really. I was a smoker with, you go, oh, let me smoke that cigar, yet you're smoking more of that. uh, I didn't become a real cigar smoker where I went and purchased my own cigars until I was single, and it was like, oh, what do I do? And then I decided to go to a lounge, and I was really shocked to see how many cigars were out there. I didn't realize there were so many different ones. So it became my goal to smoke them all.
Hmm. Excellent. Excellent. You know, when I first started, I started smoking at this one neighborhood cigar shop many years ago, and like you, I just went through the humidor, just trying every day a different cigar from, and just to try to get a better feel for what's happening with cigars in general.
I still do that to this day. When I go to a lounge, the first thing I want to do is look to see what I haven't smoked before. And I'm not great with all the names because so many names. I'm better with the band.
Oh yes, yes, absolutely.
I'm a visual person.
Now, since you are a cigar smoker, do you have a place that you consider to be your home lounge?
Um, Everything in the Washington D.C. metropolitan area.
Oh, right on. Now, are you in D.C. or you're in Maryland? Is that correct? Or you're in Maryland? That's right. You
Live
said.
in Maryland.
Okay.
But my company is in D.C.
Oh, okay. Good. 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 And then you have a couple. I know the ambassadors that are listed, and also I saw one of your guys was on your Instagram recently. Are they reps for you as well, or they're just kind of like just preaching the good word?
No, they're reps and ambassadors. So they preach the good word. They are able to sell and host events and everything.
Oh,
So
fantastic.
they're the whole package.
Excellent. Now, are they also here in the same area, or they're spread out across the regions?
There's one that's here in the DC metropolitan Baltimore area, and he travels a lot. So I don't hold them to any area. If they travel someplace, we have a system where if you know you're going to go to that lounge, you will assign that to yourself so that we don't cross hairs. Uh,
Nice, nice.
so, and the other one is physically located in Texas because there were so many shops in Texas. I felt the need to have a representation.
Oh, great. Now, as you were starting out, trying to get into shops and lounges, how difficult was that for a new person starting out?
Um, each shop is different. To begin with, people, if they don't know what you're selling, they want to try it. Um, they want to know, am I going to be around? They don't want to get their hooked on something and then I'm gonna be gone. What is my business model? So it's a lot of talking, a lot of connecting, a lot of relationship.
Got it, got it. Do you find it that are shop owners and lounge owners, are they receptive to new brands, or do you find them to be a lot quite resistant?
Um, for the most part, I think they're receptive to hearing about it, trying to get to know a little bit about the cigars. Now, I do have some that know my customers only smoke, what they know. And then I have some that will tell me that and say, but I like your cigar, so I'm gonna give it a try. So I appreciate the try.
Oh, great, great. Now, do you also do the trade shows as well, or?
I have not done them. I'm not opposed to them, but I really started selling in COVID season.
Oh, okay, yeah, yes.
Yes, so I have not had the opportunity.
So with it being COVID, like, is it one of those things? Are you were you able to go to the locations, or did you have to transact a lot of it distance, or phone or Zoom calls, things like that?
It's a little bit of both.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Um, I've done some events during COVID. Probably wasn't a smart idea. And thank you to all the heavenly bodies that I have not contracted anything COVID wise. And if I did, I didn't know about it.
Okay.
I didn't have any symptoms if I did, but been relatively healthy. And yeah, so far, so good.
Oh, good, good. I'm glad. I'm glad. So now, do you also now is Drunk Chicken? Is that your sole gig now, or do you actually have do you do other work as well?
I have a full-time job.
Okay. In similar industries or completely different?
Completely different.
Okay.
Completely different.
Kind of reminds me of Omar from Fratello with his NASA career and then doing the cigar thing.
You don't know how close that is. I work at NASA as well.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I met Omar, and I did not know Omar's story until after I started.
Oh, fantastic. So do you work at Goddard?
No, I work at headquarters in DC.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah,
Well, these are exciting times for NASA right now, aren't they?
yeah, they are.
I mean, you've got the SpaceX, you've got the Perseverance that's on Mars, and
I
I mean,
think
how,
you know about what more about what NASA's doing than I do.
well,
I
you know,
My job is at NASA,
oh,
so
gotcha. Well, you know, since you're at NASA, I am curious about one thing. Like, I don't know if you've seen that TV series called For All Mankind.
no.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just curious because there's a series on Apple TV or whatever they call it, but the premise of the series is that it's an alternative universe from ours where NASA was not the first to land on the moon. It was the Russians, and there's been a massive space race that came out of it, where we now have a moon base and all that. I just was wondering if you might have seen that, or if there was any talk about it within the NASA circles.
Well, NASA has been since the pandemic been totally. We all 90% of us totally work from home.
Oh,
So,
gotcha.
yeah, the talk is the internal talk. When we were in the office, there used to be TV monitors everywhere telling us about what was going on, what was happening, and things of that nature. And maybe I just took it for granted because I could always see what was happening, what was going on. We could watch all the launches. We could see the astronauts in space all day long from monitors all over the place. But now, and we would have those conversations in the office, the what do you call it, the water cooler talk.
Right, right.
But now, with the fully online meetings, stuff like that, the water cooler talk has slowed down quite a bit. And I think I work more from home, so I'm not sure.
Oh, you know that's something that a lot of my friends and my cousin have been telling me that they work. They definitely work a lot more now that they're home. Like one of my cousin was like telling me he's like normal. He works for a contractor that's with SSA, and he was saying that normally in their work around 4 o'clock everybody starts to groove down.
Hmm.
But he's not, now he's like, well, people call and they want to have a meeting at 6 o'clock, and it's like, well, that's terrible.
Yeah, 3:30. I used to get in the office at 7, 3:30. I was walking out the door. Now 3:30, it's like people putting meetings on, still having conversations. 6 o'clock today, I was still on the phone. I get off at 3:30.
Oh man, I'm so sorry to hear that. Then, gosh.
But it's okay. It's okay. At least I get to do it from the comfort of my home in my pajamas and slippers.
Oh yes, yes, absolutely, absolutely.
So I'm not complaining. I actually
So,
prefer it this way. I prefer it.
yeah. Plus, you don't have to commute into DC anymore. That must be like revolutionary.
The gas prices. Oh my gosh. The I don't have to deal with that anymore. The filling up the tank 2 times a week getting to the
Oh man, brutal, brutal, brutal. My goodness.
yeah. And with the SUV, that was like what back when prices were like $3, it was $70 a tank, $140 a week.
Oh man, rough.
On down.
Yeah.
Yay.
Definitely don't miss that. Definitely don't miss that. So I'm curious to know, since you've been testing a lot of blends and testing different tobaccos, have you found a particular tobacco that you really like, that I don't know, and how does that influence how you blend?
Right now, I love broadleaf. I think some of it is that it's hard to get broadleaf.
Oh, is it okay?
We
Is
were supposed to launch the homicidal hemp as our anniversary stick, and we were supposed to have 200 rolled, and we had it all blended, and we were able 200 boxes rolled, and we were able to roll 14 boxes and we have not. been able to find broadleaf like that.
Oh wow, wow.
Yeah,
Now, do you have a? Is it more Connecticut or Pennsylvania type broadleaf?
it's the Pennsylvania broadleaf that we.
Oh, Pennsylvania. Okay. Have you been able to visit the farms up in Pennsylvania?
I have not, but I am going to Philly Cigar Week, so I did have plans to take some detours and see if I can visit some farms.
You know, and a few years ago, because I was just going up to Lancaster for like on Tuesdays, I would have a day off, so I would like go up to Lancaster and just to do different things and get out of Baltimore. It's like I was able to just drive through the region, and the time I think August is probably closer to their harvest there. So man, you would see these fields of the broadleaf, and they're just massive, really kind of amazing. But you know, you kind of wanted to, as a cigar enthusiast, I just wanted to like find a farmer, but you could just never find them in the afternoon. I guess they're all back in their homes relaxing.
I'm definitely going to try to take a tour. I would love to see what's going on.
Oh yeah, yeah, it should be wonderful. It should be wonderful. Now, I'm curious to know, like the groups that you work with to make your cigars, are they are they large enough? Are they able to do they do their own pre-industry type of work, or is it they're just sourcing tobacco?
They're just sourcing back. They don't. They're growers.
Oh, fantastic. Now, is that something, so when you're sourcing tobacco, like, you know, I've been to a couple of the factories, like in Nicaragua, so I've had some exposure to how they're doing it. Like, when you're sourcing tobacco, you know, they do that pilon with the fermentation, all that. Is it something where you can specify the type of processing that's done to the tobacco beforehand, or how does that, is it to that level of like detail?
Yeah, you are able to specify the quality of the tobacco that you are looking for. One of the reasons, yes, you can find broadleaf, but the broadleaf quality that we want for our cigars, we can.
I
So
see.
that's so the specificity that you were just talking about. You definitely you look for that. You are when you're sourcing tobacco, you understand the quality that you're buying.
Okay, okay. And the reason I'm asking these questions because is mainly because like I know we just met today, but my background is in coffee, so that's what I do here in Baltimore. I run a coffee business where we
Oh,
have retail and roasting, and I got to know a lot of the cigar places in Nicaragua specifically because I actually buy coffee from producers in Matagalpa, which is this town that's about an hour from Esteli. So I see a lot of parallels between the two worlds. So I'm just always curious to like to know more of how what kind of things the industry share, the agriculture side thing.
so my fiance is here. When you said coffee, he loves coffee.
Oh, fantastic.
He's like, find out where he is so we go visit.
Yeah, yeah. So we've got a shop. It's our shop's called Spro, SPRO Coffee, and we're in the Hamden neighborhood of Baltimore. So we have a retail
Okay.
shop there, and then our roasting is actually where I am now, which is a little place we have in Cockeysville, Maryland, so just north of Baltimore.
Can you smoke in your cigar lounge?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Cigar.
yeah. I actually set up this work area with a big extractor fan that's pulling like I don't know 3,500 CFMs because of this. And actually, we're going to be hosting a. I'm actually going to be hosting a Zoom call on Sunday morning with Cirilo, McLane, and George Brightman. They just called me. They called me this afternoon. They're like, "Hey, we need to do a Zoom thing." I'm not really sure what it is. I think it's part of a bigger event, and they were just
Hmm.
going to do it from. And Cirilo, since he's been here, he was like, "Oh, can we use your studio?" And I was like, "Yeah, come on out. We'll do it here. Not a problem."
Sweet.
Yeah, it's good times. Good times. But yeah, so we're coming down to the final end of it, but it's been really enjoyable so far.
Thank you. Thank
So I'm curious to know, like, as a new cigar company, what's been your biggest challenge?
you. Biggest. I've had challenges every step of the way. So, in some of it is not knowing what was going on, and with in some people just not telling it. I read if something's happening, I want somebody to tell me, and so that I can make corrections. We did have small issues in the beginning of the rolling process, and when we self-corrected once we found out what was going on. And but since then, we haven't had those type of problems. Just it's growing pain. I think everybody has.
Oh,
What's the
yes, for
next?
sure.
What's the next step? Where do I want to go from here? Do I really want to do that? Uh, it's a lot to absorb to start a business. Not just I make a cigar and here put in people. It's not that.
Gotcha. Now, since you're a woman-owned business, do you find, as a woman, do you find that people are, do you find more hesitation from like trying to do business with people, or are they more open, or are they less open?
I find that in the beginning people thought I was the rep or I didn't know what I was talking about. I think that the people are starting to be a little bit more receptive to women in the cigar industry because women have been stepping up and saying, "We smoke full bodies just like you do. We smoke medium cigars. We just don't smoke sweet cigars. Come on now."
Good, good,
So
good.
I see some change over the year that I've been actively. I just was in the I've smoking side of the cigar industry, and so now going from the smoking side of the cigar industry to being a seller, a rep, advertising, promotion, manufacturer, wholesaler, retailer. Um, it totally changed my perspective.
Okay, okay. Now, the reason that I found out about your particular cigar was because Rahul at Tobacco Leaf had put together this packet of Amplify Black Voices cigar pack. Are you familiar with that program that he's doing?
He told me reached out that that's what he was doing.
Yeah, so he had this pack of 5 cigars for $59.95, and that's kind of what that's what I'm smoking through for the show. And my understanding that all of the cigars in this pack are, of course, are black-owned companies.
And some really great cigars in there.
I'm looking forward to them. But do you find that well, I guess what's my question really? It's is there a strong community amongst the black-owned cigar companies?
Um, this community, I'm aware of some of the black-owned cigar manufacturers, owners, black-owned cigar owners.
Okay,
Uh,
okay.
they're aware of me, and we do try to help each other out when we can. Uh, there is but it's not just because they're black-owned. It's because they're starting just like me,
Oh,
and we're
fantastic,
together.
fantastic, fantastic. So now that you're getting rolling, and you've got you know I guess concentrations of audience in Texas, Maryland, Virginia, do you look to cultivating other areas in any areas in particular? If so,
Um, yeah, the whole United States.
okay, okay.
Yeah, just picked up another lounge in Texas today, a lounge in Mississippi today. But it just, like I said, it's not any rhyme or reason to it.
Okay,
It's kind of how it rolls out.
fantastic. Now, is there a lot of word of mouth that's happening with it, or is it more of you reaching out to to the owners themselves?
It's both.
Okay.
Yeah. I've even had cigar lounges tell other cigar lounges about my cigars, and that's how we come in contact with the customers that have told cigar lounge. And then me reaching out. Down, Zach.
Right on, right on.
Sit. Lay. Good boy. Lay. Don't look at him. I'm talking to you.
What kind of dog do you have?
He's he's a snoodle, schnauzer poodle mix. But
Oh,
he just
fantastic.
so he has this big cone on his head. So he's rubbing the cone, trying to get it off his head. Uh, he looks crazy right now. He's half shit because of the surgery, half not.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right, well, I won't take any more of your time. Thank you very much for agreeing to come on and talking with us today.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. Somebody reached out to me, is like, "Hey, somebody's doing a live review of your cigars. What you doing? Come on."
Well, I'm so glad you joined us. I'm so glad. I'm very glad.
Thank you, and thank you for having me. And yeah, and I'm glad that you enjoyed the cigar.
I am. Well, thank you very much, and best of luck to you. Hope to see more of it growing around the country.
Oh, thank you. You will.
All right, excellent. All right, have a
All
great
right.
night, Desiree.
You too. Thank you.
All right, that was Desiree Sylver from Drunk Chicken Cigars. Here we're smoking the Robusto. We're just finishing up. It's kept relatively static and with a nice amount of tobacco flavor, but more of a nondescript kind of. There's not, like I said earlier, there is none of that. There's a little bit of spiciness, a little bit of woodiness, but not a crazy mixture, but just a nice static, smooth, full-bodied kind of smoke. So it's been quite enjoyable. And of course, as Rusty always wants to know, would I buy it again? I think the answer would be yes. You know, it's a nice, got a good price point. I'm not really sure exactly the price point. The MSRP, though, is, let me look that up here one more time. I believe the MSRP is right around $10, so it's a good smoke to enjoy. Like I said, this is coming from as part of the Amplify Black Voices pack from Tobacco Leaf. So if you have the chance, give Rahul a call and get some of that. They're $59.95 with 5 different cigars from 5 different black-owned companies. Really great to see, and we need to get more awareness. I think would be good to, and hopefully get more people to really get on board with it. I think it's really an interesting cigar to have. And since we're at the very end, thank you for tuning in. Really appreciate you spending another Thursday with us. And another reminder, we're going to be having our tasting with Michael King from Aganorsa Leaf Tobacco on April 29th. So that Thursday, we're going to have Michael come on. He's going to talk to us about the Rare Leaf Reserva cigar, as well as the different tobaccos that they're using. So we've got the pack from Rahul. It's $15. It's going to include the Rare Leaf tobacco, as well as the 2 tasting sticks of the 2 different leaves that Aganorsa built their empire on, and that's going to be April 29th. But for the next coming weeks, next week we're going to have the Tres Lindas Cubana La Mulata Toro. Then on April 22nd, we're going to have the Black Star Line War Witch Robusto of the 22nd. Then the 29th, of course, is going to be the Red Leaf from Aganorsa. Then moving on to May 6th is going to be the Carolina Blue Maduro Toro. So those are what's going to be coming up. So if you get the chance, grab those cigars. Rahul's going to have them. And yeah, again, thanks for joining us on Thursday night. Coffee and cigars. The Loma Gloria Black Honey has gone really well with it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.